Hey, hello, and welcome to another episode of Kuma's Kitchen. Today we've got chicken and mushroom ragu over polenta. We also have something else in the kitchen today. We have some brand new cookware we're going to be trying out to make this ragu and the polenta. So let's have a look here. On top of the polenta, on top of the ragu, Gruyere cheese. Oh, heavenly, heavenly. So you go down through here, you got that polenta at the bottom there, and oh, that's just heavenly because it's a really creamy flavor. It's not a strong flavor; it's just a mild, absolute deliciousness. And then you've got the Gruyere adding in, like, sounds corny, but like a symphony. Yeah. Anyways, let's go in the kitchen and make this right now and check out that new cookware. All right, before we look at the ingredients, I want to look at this cookware that I was sent by a shop on Amazon to try out here in Kuma's Kitchen. And so far, I give it 1 mark for beauty. Now, obviously, that's not important when we're for the actual cooking, but it is nice to have beautiful cookware to work with. So let's see. Here's some of the things about them. So this is a 2-quart saucepan, and this one here is an 8-quart stock pot, and made up of 1810 stainless steel. Good, it's totally non-reactive. And they say here, triple construction. I got like this. You can actually feel it. I felt these things when I got them. It was like they've got heft to them. This isn't a lightweight pot. It's got some heft to it. So that's good because we want that even cooking. And this is something always important, is don't go for the cheap pots that are really thin and light because you're not going to get the even cooking. They say in their advertising here, or information is sent me, that this is great for distribution, for even heating on any kind of cooker. So, I cook with gas, but if you're using this conduction or electrical or anything like that, you're going to get a good even heating. And I believe that from the feel of these and the fact that they're made of triple layers, is that, yeah, it's going to be a good conduction across, and you're going to get good even cooking. That's really important when you're cooking. Now, a couple of other things they say is an anti-hot handle, which I'm going to test out because I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it makes me a little nervous. It's metal that heats up quick, but let's see. They say it doesn't, so I'm going to try that out. We'll see. We're going to do some cooking, and then I'll test it out carefully, of course. But hey, that'd be great because nice thing about metal handles, and you know that I use the cast iron pot in here when I want to put it in the oven. Exactly. When you've got these metal handles on here, this can go in the oven. And in fact, it says here it is oven safe to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, I never bake anything at 500 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's perfect. All right, yeah, dishwasher safe. Well, yeah, basically, I would expect it is with the construction of it. It's all dishwasher safe. I noticed the other thing, both of them, the lids have vents, which is nice. I always like that. So you're not going to get that bubbling over if you leave the lid on there, and then suddenly, you get the bubbling over here. If you get the vent, you've got something to release the steam. So what we're going to do today is test these out by, we're going to cook the polenta in this one here, and I'm going to cook the ragu in the big one. So I'm actually going to switch them right now because I want to start on the ragu first. So for the ragu, what do we got here? Well, across the front here, we have half a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. We have 3 tablespoons of flour, 4 tablespoons of butter, 2 stalks of leek, and 2 leeks, and I've cut them into 5, 6, 7 millimeter, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch rounds. Over here, I've got 1.5 pounds or 680 grams of chicken thigh cut up into small bite-sized pieces. In here, I've got a mixture of mushrooms. Now, these are shiitake mushrooms on this side, and this is I call them champignon mushrooms, the regular mushrooms We just call them mushroom here in Japan. Champignon, I call them. About a dozen of each of them, and just thickly cut. Then this is 1.5 cups of heavy cream, 35% or greater. All right, that's for the ragu itself. Over on this side, we have for the polenta. How could that slip my mind? The polenta. And that's a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 4 tablespoons of butter, 1.5 cups of, this is a cornmeal, but it's coarsely ground. So it's actually called, I get this one from Bob's Red Mill, and it's called, on the package it says Polenta cornmeal. So it's roughly ground. It gives a better polenta than a really fine grind. So try to get the rough, coarse ground one. That's 1.5 cups. And then back here I've got 4.5 cups of chicken stock, which I'm going to be cooking that in. And then to finish everything off, that is 6 ounces or 170 grams of Gruyere cheese, grated, and that's going to be put on top when we serve up the dish. Now, if you don't have Gruyere, you could just replace that same amount of Parmesan. Either way, what you want is a sharp tasting cheese. It's going to add some body and flavor. So I'm going to put the cheese off to one side for right now. What we're going to do, first of all, is get started with the ragu. So, for the ragu, you're going to toss the butter. Let's see, we don't need that lid. We'll put that off to one side. Going to toss the butter into our large stock pot here. And let's bring that up on a medium heat. I do like the volume of this stock pot. You know, I've overflowed my other pot a couple times. This, I think I'm going to have to work hard to overflow. There's a lot of room in here. And the fact that the way it's built, there's not any wasted space. And that is great. All right, while that butter is melting, I'm going to quickly throw the flour, the pepper, and the salt into a larger bowl. We need a bit more room on the counter today. Ooh, that's looking good. Turn that down a little bit. All right, what I want to do is just mix that together a little bit and toss the chicken in there. And basically just dredge the chicken quickly with the flour. So, gonna move that around inside here. Just move it around till everything gets coated with a bit of the flour and the salt and pepper. All right, our butter is chicken overboard. Our butter is melted, so in goes the chicken and any leftover flour. What I'm going to do now is cook that in here 8 to 10 minutes. I just want to a little bit brown up the chicken a bit, at least cook it, and then we're going to add in some of the other ingredients. So see you back here, 8 to 10 minutes. All right, coming up in about 8 minutes. I've got a couple of observations I've made already on here, and one of them is when I change the temperatures a little bit, quick response to the temperature change. That's great. The other thing is that, yes, flour, of course, will stick. It sticks to everything, but it really scrapes off very easy, even without a deglazing liquid. What that tells me is that very low porosity on the stainless steel, because of course the more pores you have, the more there's for the flour to really stick to. It's not getting a good grip. I can scrape it off pretty easily, and that's good. That's great. None of the chicken is sticking, so that's good. All right, what I'm going to do now is add in the mushrooms and the leeks. Get this going. I'm going to cook this for about another 5-6 minutes. In the meantime, what I want to do over here is I want to add this liquid to this sauce pot or saucepan. Let's get it all in there. All right, get that in there. Going to bring that up to a boil. Oops, wrong burner. There we go. Let's add that salt in there too. Now I always use a unsalted chicken stock, so salt added. But obviously, if you got a salty chicken stock, you're probably not going to need the salt added. And once that comes up to a boil, going to add in the polenta, stir that in, and then a couple of minutes of cooking, and that is ready. So give this a stir. I'm just going to stir this every once in a while. Get all those mushrooms and all those leeks softened up a bit. I'll be back here 5-6 minutes. See you then. All right, that's been cooking for 5 minutes. It's looking pretty good. And that has just come to a boil, so I'm gonna turn that down a little bit, take the lid off. Putting the lid on just helps it come to a boil faster. And let's test that handle. The handle is still cold, so good, because I've had a lot of heat going on that. Handles here. Yeah, I can safely pick that up. I wouldn't say they're cold anymore, they're warm, but they're not so hot that I can't pick it up and hold it like that. Probably wouldn't do it for a very long time, but fine. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, turn this down, and over here, I'm gonna take that polenta and stir that into that hot stock. Give that a good stir. And now, you want to simmer it slowly, and just give it a stir every once in a while, so just keep the spoon handy. I'm gonna simmer that. Oh, we're gonna turn that down a bit more. There we go. I'm gonna simmer that for about 8 minutes. In the meantime, over here, we've turned the heat down a little bit. I'm gonna add in a little bit of the cream. Ooh, that's gonna look nice. Give that a little stir around. And at this point, this is where we can, anything that is on the bottom, we can get the brownness off that bottom, because it's always delicious. Oh, and we're starting to thicken up right away, so more cream. All right, quick stir over here on the polenta. Did I say polenta? Polenta? Polenta. What kind of pronouncement was that? All right. See, we got to stir it because you don't want it to lump up. I've still got that temperature, just a little hot. I mean, this gas stove is always really hot. So there we go. All right. Oh, I love polenta. I grew up on polenta in Switzerland. This is something we ate a lot. All right. And that flame just about right down. These back burners do not go very low. So I really have to get flame as far as I can without extinguishing it. Okay, there, that's looking good. Okay, over here, oh, we're looking great. Time to add in the rest of the cream. Okay, now I've got this on low heat over here because I just need to cook it very little. Just want to cook it until it thickens up a bit. So, and I'm stirring in anything that's on the bottom. Go around, just give it a little scrape. See if there's anything there that we can get back into the liquid. That's looking good. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. Let that keep simmering away here. Where have we been going now? A couple of minutes. So just a little bit longer and we should be ready. At this point I just want to keep stirring quite often actually. Just make sure I get a nice, smooth, thick polenta. And still, the handle, yeah, really comfortable. That's good, I'm happy with that. All right, so the ragout's been simmering away here and thickening up a bit. The polenta, yeah, That's looking good. What I'm going to do now with the polenta is just mix in that butter and get that to melt. And since it's quite hot in there, it's going to melt real quick. So just get that in there, mix it around a little bit until you see it's melted. And then, there, just about there. Incorporate it into all of the cornmeal. Oh, polenta. It's no longer a cornmeal. It is now a polenta. Right? And that is looking perfect. You turn that heat off. All right. And it's feeling really good in there for this pot. Like when you're cooking polenta, that can stick to the bottom and it doesn't feel like it is at all. So that's good. All right. This is looking good. I think we can turn that off now. Look at that. It's coating that nicely. Lick time? Yeah. Oh, delicious. Creamy wonderfulness. So, I just got to bring us, just to show you right now, because we can take this home and have big plates of it. But just take a little bit of polenta. Put that in as a base. That polenta in the next, by the time I get home, which is like, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that polenta is going to thicken up even a little bit more when as it cools down, just that little tiny bit, but it's going to thicken even more. And that's going to be absolutely perfect. And we take a little bit of the ragu here. And serve that over top, like that. And just a tiny touch more. And then I take a little bit of, sorry, you can't even see that. A little bit of the Gruyere cheese. Throw that on top. And just let the heat melt that down into the ragu. And there we go. That's dinner tonight. Now just quickly, final verdict on these. I'm very happy with them. That never got too hot to handle, even though I was a little worried about these. It's a bit of a thinner metal. I thought they'd heat up quicker, but no, they're quite good actually. That there is perfect. It's still just about cold. It was getting warm from my hand only, and now it's cooled down again. Perfect. So I'm very happy with these. Nothing's been sticking. Everything's been cooking evenly. Now they have offered. Okay, so the name of the company is. I may be pronouncing this absolutely horrible. C-I-W-E-T-E, Ciwet. Ciwete? I'm not too 100% sure. Really terrible at pronunciation of words like that. But what they've offered for Kuma's Kitchen viewers only right now is a 15% discount until May 6th. That's the end of Golden Week. So May 6th, you've got up until May 6th if you want to get yourself some really nice cookware. I'm going to put down below under the video the links to the two pots and also the code to put in to get your 15% discount, which is 15 CIWETE, all lowercase. And yeah, if you're looking for new cookware, hey, I recommend it. I'm going to be using this in the kitchen from now on. I really like this. So perfect. Won't have to be bringing my cast iron. I will use the cast iron once in a while when I'm doing like really rustic looking dishes. But other times I'm going to be using this. Can't wait to, probably won't be till fall now. When it cools down, I'm going to try that in the oven. All right, so if you like this dish, stick around. There's a lot more original Kevin Riley Kuma's Kitchen recipes right here on the YouTube channel. And also make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the new ones coming out every Monday. And if you're not yet a patron of Kuma's Kitchen, well, consider becoming one because they get all kinds of cool stuff. And for as little as $3 a month, you can be supporting the creation of all these videos and stuff like that. Now, go and make this fantastic dish with polenta underneath and ragu on top and Gruyere cheese on top of that. And make cooking fun again in Kuma's Kitchen.